I didn't exchange year because I grew up listening to stories of my mom's experience, the best year of her life. I'm insecure because I was never good enough, not for the other kids who called me royal and a fat, and not for my family who fought all the time and I didn't know why. I always drink water because it helped me lose weight, or at least that's what they told me. I can get out of the house without earrings because my mom told me so. I always try again and fight harder because my dad told me that that is what successful people do. I always wish I 11 because my friends ask all the time, every day. I'm always sucking in my stomach because that's how a lady walks. I am a mosaic of everyone and everything that has ever mattered to me, those who love me and those who hurt me. I am the story of everything I've experienced and the map of everywhere I've been. I am me and I am made up of a different hues.
I've worn the same shade of red on my toes since middle school because my best friend's mom did and I thought it was pretty. I always make a wish on dandelions in the springtime because I saw someone do it at recess when I was young. I eat ice cream when I'm sad because that's what they do in movies. I never stick my nose up at anything because when I was a little girl, my grandmother told me it was the same as giving someone the middle finger. I carry a spare pair of socks in my glove box because my best friend does and I thought it was a good idea. Human beings are a mosaic of everyone we've ever met. You are a living memory of every person that has ever mattered to you, even just for a moment. And I think that's really beautiful. What's your mosaic?
I drink my coffee black because when I was in college, this other student told me all about the benefits and I fell in love with the idea and I got my taste buds used to it. I made sure to stay vegan because after going vegan with my ex and speaking to her a few months after we had broken up and finding out she had given up, I made it a point to say I did this for me and not because we both did it. I make it a point to swing any can of sauce in a circular motion because when I was 9, I saw my dad do it once and it was the best way to get every last drop. I cook for 3 people even though I live alone because my family always taught me to cook for strangers who you don't know might show up or because you might just be extra hungry today. I make sure to look at myself in the mirror when I'm nude because when I was studying theater, my teacher told us how can we expect to ever use our bodies properly if we're afraid to look at every part of it non-judgmentally. Every single person out there is a mosaic of everyone they've ever met. I think it's a beautiful idea that if you could look closer into each and every single person, you could see every other person they've been influenced with in their life, for the good, the bad, the ugly, and all of it in between. Who makes up your mosaic?
I'm a perfectionist. That's because my dad never was satisfied with anything that I did and always expected more. Now I feel like everything I do is never good enough and I have to be good at everything that I do. I'm aware of other people's positions in life. My best friend would always have something worse more than I did. And because of that, I do not voice my struggles and I keep everything to myself. I consider myself a strong female, raised to be a problem solver. My mom would always say, Sarah, you can cry, or you can do something about it. So now I cry in silence as I do the thing that I need to fix. And I don't ask for help because I was not raised that way. So everything that I'm praised for stems from something traumatic.
When I was really little and I had to get my blood drawn all the time, my mom would always sit in the chair with me and tell me to look away and close my eyes. So now when I get it done by myself, I do the same as I did when I was a kid. A lot of my usernames are Maddie Baby because my best friend in 6th grade called me Maddie Baby after watching the $1 Million Baby scene in Pitch Perfect. Every time I eat canned chicken noodle soup, I take the chicken out and only eat the noodles because when I was little, my grandma used to take the chicken out for me. I fell in love with butterflies because ever since my grandma passed away, orange monarch butterflies remind me of her. When I get upset, I always think of my Spanish teacher from high school who used to always tell me, you got this, mijita. Ignore my bad Spanish. I love Junie B. Jones books because when I was a kid, I used to sit around all day and read them. I hate wearing socks because I used to run around barefoot all the time as a child.
I'm a vegetarian because of a bet I made with my best friend in 7th grade. I like hot foods because my dad loves spices and I wanted to connect with him growing up. I sit in kitchens when I need comfort because that's where my redheaded friend in college and I bonded the most. I drink tequila because my friends in South Africa would drink it as their drink of choice and I wanted to keep up. I love spoiling others and planning events to show them that I love and care about them because that's what my aunt does. I believe the best in people because my mom always asks strangers if they're okay or if they need any help. I have developed a love for plants to stay connected with my friend in DC while I live in Massachusetts. I speak my truth because the shortest girl I know doesn't let herself get stepped on. We are a mosaic of the people we know and love and care about, and even strangers. And these are some of my favorite tiles.
I write my A's with an extra curl at the top because my best friend at the time and I decided to do it ironically, and then it turned to a force of habit. I say Wednesday when I write the word because my 3rd grade teacher always used to. I like the Percy Jackson book series because a cool older girl lent me her battered copy of The Titan's Curse at a summer camp. I started making videos because a friend of my mom that came from England had an app that let you make music videos on her iPad. My hairbrush is blue and plastic because my favorite book character at the time had one just like that. I started gymnastics because my sister's friend wanted a buddy to go with and I got jealous. I am a mosaic of everyone I have ever loved, no matter how briefly, like a puzzle with the seams only visible upon close inspection, intersections of different people at different times that have overlapped and interwoven, fitting together in a strange, mismatched pattern to form me.
I write the letter L in cursive because that's the way that my 11th grade calculus teacher would write his, and I thought that it was pretty. I've worn these rings since middle school because my grandma told me to, and I never questioned it. I always have a midnight snack because when I was in high school and I was studying late, my mom would always bring me something to eat, and now I just get hungry around the same time. I love Gymshark because my best friend loves Gymshark, and I like popcorn because my boyfriend likes it too. I always apologize to something that I accidentally step on by touching it with my hand because my childhood best friend would do that and she said that it was the right thing to do. Human beings are a mosaic of everyone that we've ever met. You are the living memory of every person that has ever mattered to you, even for just a moment, and I think that's really beautiful. What's your mosaic?
I wish at 11:11 every day because my best friend had me do it with her for years. I know the Telugu words for a lot of vegetables and only the Telugu words because that's how my parents taught me them. I pat my pockets down before I leave the house every day because that's what my kindergarten teacher used to do before recess. I do puzzles all the time now because my mom made me do them with her when I was a toddler. I hate peas because my childhood best friend refused to eat pea soup, and so I did too, in solidarity. And I keep my word because that's what PBS Kids taught me to do. Human beings are collages, or mosaics. If you look close enough at a person, you'll see all the pieces of everyone they've ever met incorporated haphazardly into a beautiful and unique work of art. You are the living memory of every person who has ever mattered to you, even for a moment. I think that's important to remember.
I'm a really passionate hugger because my mom always told me to hug people like you might never see them again. I wasn't allowed to have junk food as a kid unless I was going on road trips. My mom always got me Funyuns, beef jerky, and Mountain Dew. Now it's like the only thing I have on road trips. I don't really have a nickname, but in middle school, a few people used to call me M. So 2 people that went to middle school with me that I still go to school with, they call me M, and it always makes me really happy. I make sure that I give everyone in my house a kiss goodnight because my mom always did that for me when I was a baby. I had a friend in middle school that used to bend over every time she laughs, and sometimes I catch myself doing it. Sometimes I catch myself saying words with like a really Spanish accent just because that's how my mom says it, and I don't know how to say it normally. One time my 4th grade teacher told me I reminded her of herself and that she did announcements when she was in middle school, so I've been doing the morning announcements at school since the 5th grade. My aunt was my principal from elementary school to middle school, so I was always really used to having like all the staff be really close to my family. So come high school, I've always made it a point to be really close to my teachers just because that's what's normal to me.
I hug people over handshakes because I hugged a friend one day and they expressed to me, you just never know when someone needs one. I remember the directions with the phrase, never eat sour worms, because my elementary school teacher taught it to me. I snap with my pointer finger and my thumb instead of my middle finger because my childhood best friend would snap like that, and I just thought it was cool and it was different. My favorite color is blue because a stranger one day just expressed to me, you're just as beautiful as the color of the ocean itself, as it will never change. Not knowing my real name is Ocean. And I have such a love and constantly listen to old school R&B music because growing up, that's all my mom would play, and it's something we bonded over. Human beings are a mosaic of every person we've ever met. You're a living memory of every single person that has ever mattered to you, even if it's just for a moment. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and this trend is amazing, and I love it. I love seeing it. So what's your mosaic?